go ahead and start this vlog before I keep putting it off. I wanted to document just me reading my summer TBR. So I recently did a video a couple weeks ago about some books that I picked for July, and it's of course gonna go over into the entire summer. So I'm currently reading Curvy Girl Summer, and this book started out spicy in the first chapter. I'm currently on chapter 7. I'm 23 at the 23% mark, but I like it. I'm enjoying it. I did not think I would enjoy it from the first chapter, but it's giving me some, it's throwing a wrench in some things. So it follows Aaliyah, who's about to turn 30, and she's on the dating scene. I really didn't think I could relate to the book that much because of that aspect, but there are other things that I can relate to because of age and just dreams, desires, and stuff like that. And currently she just got done with the date and it did not go so well. But there's a weird relationship going on with her and someone in this book, and I hope it's not going the way I think, but then secretly I hope that it does. So I'm conflicted, and so that's why I'm still invested in this book. So join me. See, this is some weird stuff. Like, why is this man invested this much in her life? Why? Because, like, Aaliyah, it's so weird saying my name for someone else. So this dude that she is not talking to, is saying that he was friendly without being too friendly. But I couldn't help but notice how he seems so respectful. But to me, the things he's doing is not respectful. If you read this book, tell me. And maybe I'll get to it eventually of what's going on, but it does not seem respectful to me. And then even a little later, Asia, the other person that works with him, is like, yeah, what's going on and stuff like that. Oh my gosh. So she is currently on a date now, and it is going terribly wrong. This is the second date she has been on. First date, the man lied to her about something. Second date, he's lying again. But oh my gosh, so much drama. This is why I'm still invested. The other book that I'm reading or listening to is The Women by Kristen Hanna, and I got that on Libby. Like, I have been waiting for that book for weeks. You know how it says, I don't know what this little bit is. Oh, sorry y'all. But you know how it says like 41-week wait or something? And then I just got the notification today from Libby that it is about to be returned already, and I just started listening to it. It's like a 14-hour listen. I'm only 12% of the way through with the book, so I just started listening. I'm like on chapter 6 or something, and I am loving that and enjoying that as well. Completely different vibe of Curvy Girl Summer, but I've been wanting to read Kristen Hanna more this year because I loved The Nightingale last year. So I definitely am excited for this book. So if it returns itself on Libby, I definitely think I will get the physical copy, or buy it or get it from the library.
Forward the other night too. She had never wanted to kiss a man more. The love she felt for him caused a physical ache in her chest.
Loving it so far. Loving it. I love the detail of like the emotion and the compassion of our girl Frankie, and just how they kind of show both sides of caring for Americans and the Vietnamese. I really like that aspect of it because you don't often get that with books, especially from American authors. You kind of get, a biased perspective, which is normal and natural, but I like how it kind of shows the sides of, these women were taking care of the Vietnamese as well. But similar theme or little plot twist as when I was reading Curvy Girl Summer. And I'm like, these men are deceiving. And, oh, sorry, you got it kind of shook down there. But I'm not saying all men. I'm just saying these two books. I'm not saying all men. I'm just saying these two books that I'm currently reading, the men did the same exact thing. And it's frustrating me of how they're treating our female main characters. So that is really making me mad. Like, just be honest. Be honest. And a woman should not have to ask you certain questions about your life where you should be upfront about it, So it's either, in the first book, Curvy Girl Summer, he blatantly lied. But in this one, the women, he just withheld information, which is just as bad, because it's like, the truth, what's up, but you are not telling the full truth. So, oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm going over speed bumps right now. There's this weird glare that I don't like. There's still a lot for me to do. I have a lot of dishes to wash, and I need to finish washing clothes. I'm gonna ask my husband to finish washing clothes though, and then I'm gonna be the one to have to hang them up, because he absolutely hates that. He hates hanging up clothes, but he cooks and he usually washes dishes. But the dishes are so piled up right now that I will do them, and he is at work. So Maya is in the bed, and I can still kind of hear her talking in there, and I looked on the baby monitor and she was reading her book. It's so sweet. So we always put her in the bed with a book, a blanket, and then like a little stuffy. So I want to knock out these dishes first and wash or put them in the dishwasher. And I'm gonna listen to The Women by Kristen Hannah. I'm about kind of the same of where I was yesterday, 23%. I've gotten a little bit further, but I'm in a part right now where the love interest is going through it. He is going through it, and it's sad, but then also not expected, but it's sad. And then last night I fell asleep reading Curvy Girl Summer. I'm still in the mood for reading, so I'm gonna turn down the lights a little bit and just keep this one on that's on the side of me, but I'm still in the mood for reading. But I am going to pull out Ministry of Time. So that is the other book that I'm reading right now, and it is so good. I'm currently on page 46, and I don't even remember where I ended off. I know, well, if you don't know, this book is about a civil servant, and it sets it up like she's working for a Ministry of Defense or in linguistics and things like that, which I'm really interested in work like that. And they are basically time traveling people that have passed away to the future. For example, the guy that she is a bridge for, or to help connect to modern time, is a soldier and general that passed away in like the early 1800s or mid 1800s. and her job is to try to acclimate him to modern society, see if they survive, what they need basically. And on the back of the book it says that she finds herself falling fervently in love with consequences that she never could have imagined. So it is a love story, it's a romance, but it's also something that I've never read before. It's political, it's witty and humorous. I just really love the writing of Kalan. I don't know how to pronounce her name. Kalyan Bradley. She's a British Cambodian writer based in London. And there's a lot of like British humor in here that is actually funny to me and I'm laughing out loud about. It's very blunt and like dry, but I'm really enjoying it so far. So I have my annotating pens out because I'm highlighting words that I don't know, and I've probably highlighted like 100 words just in the first chapter. Headspace to read it because it's like I want to just soak up every bit of it and not miss anything. Like I'm reading through this slowly, so I'm really enjoying it. And look at that cute little bookmark. She believed she could, so she did. It's so cute. My husband got that for me, and it kind of matches the cover as well. Like this quote is funny and I just giggled. Like it says, never tell a workplace or a lover anything that might cause them to terminate your relationship until you're ready to leave. Like it's just so like quotable. All right, y'all, so I am currently at McKays right now. If you have not heard of McKays or been to McKays, then it's an amazing used bookstore, and it just has so many like selections. And I just ran across this, which is my favorite romance book. And y'all know I'm not typically a contemporary romance girly, but this is my favorite. Yours truly, Brianna and Jacob, love them down. And it's still $19 though for hardback. And then they have Emily Henry, but still $18.50. They have Funny Story, Happy Place. I really wanted to get Funny Story because I haven't read it yet, and they said it's good, but I don't know. Colleen Hoover, like Verity, it ends with us. Like, is everyone donating their Colleen Hoover books? What's going on? Okay, so we just finished eating at Tailgate. So it's near McKays. It's like 3 minutes away, literally, from McKays. So I highly recommend that. It's known for like its beer and pizzas, like craft beer, I think, or yeah, I don't know anything about beer. So just a little update. I wanted to show you my little haul that I got from McKays. I did get 2 books, and y'all, I was this close to buying The Women by Kristen Hanna, and they had so many copies of it as well, and I'm like, should I just have bought it? But they have so many copies, and originally it's like $30 if you get it new at the bookstore, and they had some good copies with like no writing in them, hardback books for $15. And then I asked my friend, I was like, do you have this book on your shelf? She was like, yeah, I have it. And I was like, let me just borrow it from you because I'm listening to it on audiobook on Libby right now. So it's kind of like I'm borrowing it from the library or something. So I just was like, let me just save my $15 and get it for my friend. And I'm at like the 40% mark right now. And it is just so good, so sad, so much loss in this book. And Frankie is just going through it. Her friends have left her because they're like on a tour, you know, in Vietnam, of where you go there for a certain amount of time and then you do your service and then you go back into the real world. And her best friends have left her and gone back. And she just wrote to her family of a decision that she's made, which I'm not going to reveal it, but you can probably kind of guess, that she has made. And I'm just like, please, Frankie, please. Like, I hope that she doesn't die. That's what I'm hoping right now. I don't know what happens, but I heard that the women will rip your heart out and it'll make you so sad. But yeah, and then something else that I just wanted to point out too, of like something that's so sweet that Frankie would do is like take pictures with the men that are sick or in the hospital so their parents could see them, and then also write letters to their parents to like let them know that I was with them, like in their last moments, they weren't alone. And that's just so sweet, like so sweet and heartfelt. I won't reveal any more because you have to read the book, but it's so good, and I just know it's going to continue to make me sad. I do not like the representation of men, of how men are acting in here. I know it, you know, may be true or accurate in some cases, but the men are getting on my nerves. Not like the wounded men and people in combat, but like how they're treating her, like the love interest and stuff. That's just getting on my nerves. I kind of wish there just wasn't any love interest in there, because it's like, really. I did know, and just being a history teacher, of how like the propaganda again of America saying, oh, we lost no men today, or 0 wounded in combat. And she's like, what? I just witnessed literally like so many people wounded, so many people in combat that passed away. And she's like, this is not true. Yeah, so I'm loving it so far. Again, like 40% of the way through with it. I'm not on part 2 yet. I'm like on chapter 15. But let me show you the books that I got from McKays. So the first book that I got is Yellow Wife. Yeah, Yellow Wife by Sadequa Johnson. $7. I was looking for a book. I was looking for books that were under 10 digits. And I've heard of this book only from Shaughnessy's page. And if you haven't heard of her, look her up on YouTube. She's a booktuber as well. And she's mentioned this book, I believe. And it's about, I think, a woman being born on a plantation. And she's set apart from others. She unexpectedly finds herself thrust into the bowels of slavery at the infamous Devil's Half Acre in Richmond, Virginia. So they're treated really poorly and cruel, but yeah, I think it's something to do with like her skin color, and maybe she's shielded by her mother's positions as the estate's medicine woman and cherished by the master's sister. She is set apart from the others on the plantation, belonging to neither world. She'd been promised freedom on her 18th birthday, but instead of the idyllic life she imagined with her true love, Essex Henry, Phoebe is forced to leave the only home she has ever known. And it's not that thick, like, seems like a pretty short read. Also, I've been wanting to read this as well, and literally me and 2 other girls that I was with at work got this book. So we're like, we need to start a book club. We need to read this together and discuss it together. And that is Before the Coffee Gets Cold. And it sounds so amazing. It's basically like how I've been describing it as, and let me know if I'm right or wrong, how I've been describing it as is like when you get asked a question, if you could speak to someone one last time, dead or alive, who would it be? And it's like people picking like their loved ones that have passed away, and they have the opportunity to talk to them again in like this seat or this chair before the coffee gets cold. And then once that happens, then it's time to move on. I believe that is what it is about, but let me check for sure for you all. In a small back alley of Tokyo, there is a cafe that has been serving carefully brewed coffee for more than 100 years. Local legend says that this shop offers something else besides coffee: the chance to travel back in time. Over the course of one summer, 4 customers visit the cafe in the hopes of making that journey. But time travel isn't so simple, and there are rules that must be followed. The trip can last only as long as it takes for the coffee to get cold. But it's a Japanese author, and the best-selling novel explores the age-old question: what would you change if you could travel back in time? So a different question than I originally thought, but just the same, seems so interesting. And I heard that Japanese authors, when they put a cat on the front of novels, that means that it's a novel of peace, or it symbolizes something. I'm not sure what. It's a series, so all of these books have cats on the front. So, Tales from the Cafe, Before Your Memory Fades, Before We Say Goodbye, Before We Forget Kindness. So I would love to read all of those if I could put them on my shelves. Hello, everyone. So I am in my daughter's room right now, and I gotta get my book reading time in when I can. Right now, she is watching Bluey. My husband is watching a movie in another room, and I'm about to read because today is my daughter's birthday. So today is Maya's birthday. She is the big 2. I am so excited, happy for her. And yes, we literally just came from her school to eat snack with her. We like served the kids snack. Strawberries and bananas are her favorites. And they had little cupcakes, and she had a birthday plate and everything. It was so cute. And then tonight, my mom really wants to take her to Chuck E. Cheese. And yeah, but we were hearing that Chuck E. Cheese doesn't have all the same things that they had when I was little. Like, it's not age appropriate for a 2-year-old. Like, it's like 5 and up. But she went there yesterday. She thought it was fun. Check it out. But that is gonna start around 6. It's 4 o'clock right now, so I may have like an hour and a half if I'm lucky to read, and I'm so excited. So I'm gonna chill out in her room. My door is open if she wants to come in and take a break, but I'm gonna read. Like my nails. I just got them done. But let me give you the updates of what I'm reading, how it's been going. I have taken a couple of weeks off, not from reading, but from just vlogging and updating you all on how it's going, because I've been so busy with work. I had training, then we had moving. It was just back-to-back days. I was up to like 9 p.m., didn't see my family, and then would be up at 6:30 to 6 all over again the next day for 2 weeks straight. And so now we're finally at a calm level, and you know, everything is settling down. So that is really good. But I want to update you on The Women. So I did finish The Women. And I actually returned the book already to my coworker, and I told her I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for letting me borrow. I will say it's not as memorable, as striking as The Nightingale was for me, but it's still a good book. It's very tragic. I feel like Frankie, my girl, she went through so many trials and tribulations throughout this book, and I feel like it did not let up until, like, you know, the very end. The friendship of her and the girls from the Vietnam War was very refreshing. And then also the thing that she does at the end, it's not like what you would expect or the happy ending you would really typically think for a woman. You think like marriage, kids, and the life stages that she wanted to go through, but that's not really what she got. And yeah, but she still can lead a happy life without those things. And so I think she figured that out throughout the book. And right now I am currently in the middle of 4 books, guys. 4 books. I am reading too many books at one time right now, but I'm enjoying it. I just think I am mixing some plots or forgetting information from some of the books because I'm reading so many at one time. I did go to the library recently, and I didn't really film that, but it was just like a pop-in, because I was actually looking for The Surrogate Mom. And these are the books I picked up. So the first book that I'm really interested in is The Gospel Mom. And it says, discover who God made you to be as a mom. I haven't really read any books on motherhood and biblical motherhood, so maybe I can incorporate this in like my daily devotions, or just read like a chapter a day at night or something like that. But this book just stood out to me in the spiritual section. I was like, I wasn't even looking for this book. A book that I was noticing at Barnes. Why did I say it like that? I noticed it at Barnes and I really wanted to get it, but I was like, it's $30 and I don't want to get this book or pay for this book and I not like it, because this same author wrote a book that I DNFed this year, and that is Speak to Me of Home by Janine Cummings. And I was really interested in this book because it is following like 3 women, mother, grandmother, and daughter, in Puerto Rico, talking about like their legacy. And I really like and enjoy books, like historical books like this. So yeah, I picked it up and I'm like, hopefully I like it. I want to give this author another chance because the book sounds really interesting. And then this book, Grown Women by Sarai Johnson, I think that's how you pronounce her name, hopefully. And this book kind of was just like standing out, I think, or maybe it was tucked in, I don't know, but I think I just saw the outside and I was like, pretty colors and grown women, like, what does that mean? I'm a grown woman, so I just picked it up. But then when I opened it, I knew immediately I had to get it because it said 1974, and that's around the time like my mom was born. So it says Charlotte is 18 and pregnant with her daughter Karina, and she flees her privileged upbringing, seeking refuge from her cold, troubled mother Evelyn. She lands in a tiny town outside Nashville without a plan. So as soon as it said Nashville, I'm like, gotta get it. And then it talks about Karina was born in Charlotte, and then she moves to rural Tennessee. So I'm like, okay. And it talks about 4 generations of complex Black women contend with motherhood and daughterhood. And so I'm like, yeah, I gotta read this. So I'm really excited for this one. I think I'm more excited for this one now than Speak to Me of Home. Those are the books that I have picked up from the library recently. And I also want to unwrap my August pick of the month, which I got for Christmas this year. And that is this book. So it's wrapped up right now. And it is the August pick. So let's unwrap it together. I just recorded the entire 6 minutes backwards. So, great for me, but I have already unwrapped the August book for the month, and that is Paranoid by Lisa Jackson. And just a little, teaser for you all. It says, there are people in Edgewater, Oregon, who think that 20 years ago, Rachel Gaston got away with murder. Rachel has no idea how a foolish teenage game turned deadly, or who replaced her soft pellet air gun with a real weapon. When a figure leapt out at her from the darkness, she fired without thinking. Too late. She recognized her half-brother Luke and saw blood blooming around his chest. So that's just a little teaser, but my mom knows I love a good thriller mystery book, and I love opening these every month because it's like a little surprise and it feels like Christmas every month. Also, just a little update or thing that I would want to share before I pick up my daughter, because this reminded me, is that her school does this cute little like bag pickup thing for book reading. And so they have their like a little library in their school, and the librarian kind of organizes the books by category, like what is age appropriate. And my daughter is 2, and you just sign out the book. It's like a little free library. You sign out the book pack and then bring it back. And it was so special because Mayah actually won the challenge last month of reading the most books or having the most books checked out, and we only literally used it twice. And I'm like, how did she win? But it was so cute, and I thought it was just a good idea to share that if you're thinking like, how can I read to my little ones? How can I create like fun challenges? That's one thing that her school does. And I think they actually made the challenge from her checking out the books, because she won a free book called How to Train a Unicorn or something like that. And then she got this like little unicorn tiara, and it was so sweet and special. And then now from August till September 30th, they have a challenge of like who checks out the most books and which class checks out the most books. They'll win a little prize as well. And also with another local library we're a part of, they have a challenge for little ones to read 1,000 books before kindergarten. And I've really been locked in with that challenge because I really want to be intentional with Mayah and read those books before she starts kindergarten. She's only 2, so she still has 3 more years before she starts kindergarten. And I'm sure she has definitely read more books than this, or she's been read to more than this. But for right now, she has 336 books, I believe, read. But I definitely think she will have the 1,000 read by kindergarten. And when you turn in like every 100 books that you read there, you like put on this tracker, you turn it in, and you get a free Baskin Robbins ice cream sundae, and then also you get a free book. Let me go pick up my girl, and then I'm gonna try to read tonight and get through this TBR. All right, so I am trying to catch the little daylight that I have left, and I'm going to paint and listen to the Sicilian Inheritance. So that's what I'm gonna do until it gets dark, or until I get bitten by bugs, whichever one comes first. Okay, so I literally just finished The Sicilian Inheritance by Joe Piazza, and I have to say that I really enjoyed this book. It wasn't a 5-star for me, but it was like 3.5, 3.75, which is pretty high. It just wasn't like anything that was wow, amazing, different than what I have read before. But I will say, in the author's note, she did mention like how personal the story is to her, even though the characters are of course completely fiction, that she got inspiration from her own family. So that was really sweet and special. Just a little bit about this book. It follows Sarah, which I think I mentioned before, and she is left this inheritance in Sicily, and she goes to try to figure out how she can get this land, pay off her debt, and just make her life better, because she's recently divorced and has a child, lost her business, all of that. But there are some things along the way. There were some bumps and trials and tribulations along the way, of course. And yeah, she goes through it. And then it has a dual timeline and also dual point of views with Serafina, who is her relative. I think it's her like great-great-grandmother. And then Sarah, which is current day. She's trying to figure out the history of Serafina. But I really enjoyed it because it tells like the feminist history of Sicily and how women were treated but overcomers, and how like a lot of the men would go off to La America. I listened to the audiobook, so I have like these accents stuck in my head now. They would go off to America and work, and that really empowered Sicilian women for the first time to like run a business, take care of the kids, like basically do it all. And so that was really inspiring, and I really loved that aspect. Then there's a character in here, Juicy, that's how you pronounce it, like Juicy, and she is so likable, but also I did not like her at all. Like such a hateable character at the same time, because how she was so manipulative and just got over on Sarah a lot. But then you see why in the end all the things are happening. But like I would like her one chapter, then like despise her the next. But then in Serafina's perspective, which is back in like 1908 or something, she had a best friend, Chatina, and I loved her. I thought she was gonna turn on my girl for a minute. I thought she was gonna be like, I don't rock with you anymore. But since they were little kids into their old age, they did a lot together, and she supported Chatina and Serafina. I love them, and they just were the epitome of friendship in this book. This book also made me want to travel to Sicily immediately. I want to book my flight, because it also just captured the picturesque nature of Sicily and the culture, the food, things like that. So I really like that as well. And what else? Yeah, kind of how like Sicily is downplayed in comparison to Rome and Venice and all the other touristy parts on the mainland of Italy. But it definitely makes me want to go to small town Sicily and visit and just enjoy, a different part of Italy. Because I've been to Italy before, but of course I've never been to Sicily. So, but I think that was also my one hang up with the book, that I couldn't really put my finger on if this is a mystery, if this is a thriller. It wasn't thriller at all. It was also dipping its toes into like historical fiction, because giving us the history of like women in Sicily and patriarchy. So it was a good blend, but sometimes when I'm trying to like figure out the details of the mystery, it would take me out of that moment, and then it would start talking about like food and wine and the beautiful flavors, because Luca, he's the love interest, which I also really didn't enjoy that part. Like that could have been completely left out and it still would have been an enjoyable book. Like he was a chef, and then Sarah, the main character, it was a butcher, and then it would go into like paragraphs and paragraphs of the foods and the taste of the food and how you pair it together. And I'm like, can we focus here? Can we get to the main thing? Can we figure out this inheritance right now? So that was my only hang up. So that's why I think it didn't quite get me to a 5-star. I feel like if this was just completely like a thriller mystery book without that part, I would enjoy it more, and it'll be more like fast paced. But the last, like, I don't know, 30% was really, really good, and you get all the puzzle pieces together. And I do think like the author wrapped it up in a bow and gave us, you know, all the details at the end, why things were happening. We didn't leave wondering, what about this part? What about this part? Like, I really enjoy that, because I hate when I read something in the beginning of the book and I think that's so important, but it's really not. But the author never comes back and explains why that was mentioned. So that did not happen in the book, so that is really good. But I do recommend this book. The accents in the audiobook were a little iffy sometimes. When she was doing like Serafina's accent, the great-great-grandmother, I think that was good, but then sometimes she would get into the men's accents, and I was like, doesn't sound right. But what do I know about Italian accents? I have no idea. Or Sicilian accents, sorry. Yeah, but I'm about to take a shower right now and then finish up The Surrogate Mother by Frida McFadden, and I'm literally like 91% through with that book. Only like 30 minutes left. That's what it says on my Kindle. So I'm gonna take a shower, get comfy, eat dinner, and finish up that book, and then I'll come back with my update of The Surrogate Mother. Okay, so I finished The Surrogate Mother by Frida McFadden. Review of The Surrogate Mother, I would give it 3 stars. Yeah, 2.53 stars. Not the best Frida McFadden book that I've ever read. I'm a fan of Frida because I feel like I like her more than most people or most readers that I see on booktube and stuff like that. So yeah, so this book follows a couple, Abigail and Sam. They want to have a baby, they get a surrogate, and you know, it's a thriller, it's fast paced. I don't want to give, because I feel like any little detail you give away, you know, it's gonna kind of reveal the plot and the twists and turns. I did like the twist at the end because, I mean, yeah, it wasn't, again, like, wow. And it's very similar to twists that she has done before. In, for example, The Inmate, I read that. I've read The Teacher. I've read The Perfect Son, Housemaid, Never Lie. I read a lot of Frida books, and I feel like this is not up there with my top 1, but it was good, average, good palate cleanser. And just to say, like, you know, I read a Frida book, but again, the twist at the end of like how the assistant is kind of connected to other people, yeah. And then also, when I just think about Frida McFadden books, and I feel like a lot of people say this about her writing too, is that it feels like it tells you more than showing you. Like, she tells us literally everything. And I think sometimes the dialogue in the books, or like the inner dialogue for the characters, is annoying and it gets on my nerves sometimes, because it's like, you don't have to tell me that, you know, it's too much. I can, you know, I'm smart enough to be able to get certain things. And let me just give you an example. This is on chapter 32, and it says, I'm still gasping to catch my breath. Wow, I'm really out of shape. Good thing I'll have 15 years to get buff in prison. Isn't that what people do mostly in prison? Work out and get tattoos of skulls? Like, why? That's not, I don't know. Just reading that is not relevant and it's just random. Okay, so I won't read this one because it will give the plot away, but just like scenarios that she writes about dealing with the plot, it'll be like, oh, but that's just a coincidence, you know, or it can't be true. Knowing that we are gonna find out and we know that it's true, or we know there's a twist to it, but then I don't know, she'll try to like throw us off and be like, but it's just a coincidence. That would never happen. They wouldn't do that. You know, things like that at the end of describing to us what just happened. And we're like, girl, that is what they would do. We know it's a thriller. We know it's a mystery. I don't know. But anyways, so thank you all so much for watching this vlog of reading my August and summer TBR. I'm so ready for spooky season and fall and cozy reads. I'm ready for my mysteries, my thrillers, my fantasies. So any recommendations you have, please comment them down below. Any videos or vlogs you would like me to do as well, please let me know. Again, thank you all so much for watching. Bye.